This is the last game, Lek against MS, or Lek MSP against you, and you were black. It was played on the 2nd of May as well, and your opponent had a rating of 888. He played e4, e5, and we have the King's Gambit again that we saw 2 videos ago. And in that game, you took on f4. You accepted the King's Gambit. In this game, you played knight c6, keeping the pawn in the center. Knight f3, bishop c5, and he decided to take. Knight takes and f takes. White has won a pawn, but he pays a big price for this pawn. You have an immediately winning move here.
I think I've seen it.
Say again?
Is it queen to h4?
Queen h4 is very strong. Again, that's a drawback of the King's Gambit, that you play that f pawn up, which if the pawn was still on f3, you could have, on f2, you could have played f3 here. Sorry, I'm talking nonsense. If the pawn was still on f2, it would not even be check by queen h4, so there would have been no point to that move. But now it is check, and it's actually a big problem because he only has 2 legal moves, and this is mate in 1.
Mate in 1. It is. Can't go there. Mate in 1. Am I? So, oh yes. So it's basically queen takes e4.
Exactly, and handshake time after only 6 moves. So he cannot do that. So after queen h4 check, the only other legal move. What's the only other legal move he has apart from king e2?
Pawn to g3.
Pawn to g3, and that also doesn't work. Or I mean, it's no checkmate now. But then you have the same move, queen takes e4, and we have a lovely double attack.
Yes.
Winning a rook. So total disaster for white. So in this position after bishop c5, it's not good to win a pawn with white because you just expose yourself too much. Knight takes c5, knight takes c5, f takes c5. You have won a pawn, but you're getting slaughtered with queen h4. Okay, so it's good for you to have seen that, or in future you might spot that move. You played queen e7 instead. I guess you were wanting to win the pawn back that way. In the past, you used to play moves like queen e7 with the bishop still on f8, and then I was talking to you about you don't want to stand in front of your own pieces. In this case, queen e7, there's no real drawback to it because the bishop is already developed. It's already in the game. So again, it's an example where you make better moves, more harmonious moves than in the past. He played d4, and you drop the bishop back, knight c3 developing, bishop a5. Yeah. I know what you're doing, you're pinning the knight. But why am I not over enthusiastic about bishop a5 here, Aran?
Because I'm playing with the same piece twice.
Exactly. Yeah. And there are other pieces that ask for attention and they want to be part of the game. So, you know, a move like d6 and get the bishop out and find a way to get this guy into the game, and then castle. That is much higher priority than pinning the knight on c3. Yeah. And the pin is not great anyway because he played bishop d2. He develops one of his pieces and the knight is no longer pinned. So he's bishop a5 has really just been a waste of time. But now you do play d6. Good move, because you recognize you will need to get your stuff into the game. He played knight d5, also neglecting his development and playing with the same piece twice. I guess he thought he was doing great because it's attacking the queen and attacking that unprotected bishop. Another reason why bishop a5 was a bad move, because it's on an unprotected square and then you're asking for trouble. But you found the refutation, because queen h4 check was played by you now, saving the queen and also saving the bishop because your opponent is in check.
Yeah.
and he only has king e2 or g3 as an answer. They're both not very nice. He played g3, and then we get that double attack again.
Yeah.
And Aran is taken over. Bishop e2. Thank you for the rook with check. Bishop f1, and thank you for the knight. And not only that, you're also protecting your bishop. How lovely is that?
Yeah.
Because he took, queen takes a5 check, and c3. So, yeah, the queen has done incredible things. The queen has made this journey like that, and like that. That's the last five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves you made with the queen. And in the meantime, you picked up a rook and a knight, and you're totally winning because of your extra material.
I'm a bit upset actually because I know what's to come.
Yeah, this is. I must say it is great. You know, the queen was like a hoover, hoovering all white's pieces up, and you're totally winning.
And I think, you know how I like to do I try and do amazing queen moves in my own lane. You know, no grandmaster by any means, but for my level, I like to, I like to be attacking. I like to be a bit creative. This suited me well.
Yeah,
Doesn't work all the time, of course, but hey, it won me 3 pieces here.
yeah, exactly. Well, two, the rook and the knight, because the bishop was a swap piece. You're right. It is a very nice sequence of queen moves. It's lovely. But it was a bit lucky because, you know, in this position after knight d5, it looks like you're in big trouble because your queen is attacked and your bishop is attacked. And it looks like you're going to lose material, and you just have that queen h4 check, and suddenly it all works out perfectly for black. But you were lucky to have that move. So, for example, this hoovering the queen is really nice. But I like your previous game a lot better. This is yeah. You know, everything at home, and your queen does performs miracles, which is great. But I preferred the other game because that was much more measured and methodical, and that was real chess. This is what we call coffee house chess. In the old days, people used to play in coffee houses, and all sorts of crazy stuff were happening because they were in unimportant games. This would have, but I still have to, I can't take it away from you. You played 30 moves against a guy 888, and you're a rook and a knight up. So hard to argue with that. But do you understand my point that I like the previous game better?
Yeah, like, look, has he's got, look, all my pieces are at home. You know, like, yeah, the principles have gone out the window here, let's be honest.
Yes, exactly.
And, you know, look, I know exactly what you mean. Like, you want measured, good pace, methodical, because that's, in the long run, that's what's going to make me a better, well-rounded player.
Yeah, exactly. And the coffee house stuff you can leave for when you're in a bad position or your material down. Then you're gonna trick him. I've been tricked so many times by stronger players, and I had them. You know, I had a better position, or I was material up, and then they started to throw all sorts of curveballs at me, and then I might have judged the first one and the second one, and maybe even the third one. But by the fourth one, my head was scrambled, and I fell for their trap. So that's another thing. But that good chess players are much better at than not so good chess players is fighting back in bad positions. So it's definitely a skill, and it's good that you like it. You just said to me you like to have a mess and do an attack, but yeah, maybe use those in desperate situations or in bad situations. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what happened here. C3. He has to cover the check. You say thank you very much. I'll take another pawn. D5, and now you start developing. See, now you're my friend again. Now you start developing. Bishop C4, castling. I like it. Queen F3, and now it's up to white. He has to try and cause chaos because he's totally lost, being half the board down. Bishop G4, and now all you see now I'm happy again because all your pieces are now playing. Your king is safe, and you still have material up. So this is turning out to be a really nice game. Queen d3, yes, same as queen, and e4. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little, why not? You know, it's a pass pawn and push it up. It's defended, and even if it wasn't defended, he could never take it because then there would be a rook coming there with his king in the center. But it is also protected by the knight. Everything is great here for black. Queen e3 and queen b6. Let's just go through the moves.
I think I'm trying to stop the queens here.
Ah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, very good. Yeah, very good. He didn't, of course, when you material down, you do not want to swap pieces. So he went there.
I think I am also. I think I'm trying to get the queen on G1 as well, so I can get the rook.
Yeah, that's what you played here. You won't get the rook because he can just interpose the bishop.
Yes.
But okay, that bishop was active and now it's back to where it started. So again, a little success for black. Queen c5. Yeah, I cannot criticize, or there's really nothing much to discuss. You just a rook.
Can I ask you to go back a move, please? And if I was to put my bishop from G4 to H3.
Ah, okay, I see your point.
And then let's say he plays, I don't know, let's say rook from A1 to B1, let's just say.
Yeah.
If I took the bishop with my queen on F1, what's that? Is that checkmate?
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Bishop h3 is nice because you want to swap pieces. So bishop h3 is very nice. I guess he still has the legal right to castle here. But he can still take the bishop. You know, it's not even a swap. It's winning another piece. Bishop h3 is a very nice move, Aran, for many reasons. It's winning material, but it's also just getting more material off the board, which you want to do when you're material ahead. So
yeah, I've just noticed that.
Yeah, well spotted. It's a very strong move.
The bishop on F1 is pinned.
It is. It is indeed.
So the theme of these videos is so many pins.
Yeah, pins happen a lot in chess.
I think because I'm playing chess a lot more, I can see things like, look, I've just talked out, no, I wouldn't say as far as calculations, but I've just put together a little row of moves, which about a year ago I would never have seen.
Yeah, well, definitely. And and bishop h3 is a very nice move for many reasons. Well spotted. Yeah, so you drop back with the queen again. You know, everything wins here, so it's okay. h3, bishop f5, g4. You're kicking your bishop back. Well, fine. Let him kick your bishop back. Nothing will change about the position. He finally castled on move 24. Queen takes pawn.
Yeah, again, trying to swap the knight, the queens.
Yes, but it drops a piece because attackers versus defenders, d5 is protected twice, right?
But I'm protecting it by the queen and the knight.
But you're attacking it twice, but it's also defended twice.
Oh yeah, so 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah.
So it drops a piece. So it's not a good move to take on d5, just because of a simple attackers versus defenders rule. So I'm glad you stopped me here. So what is a better move than queen takes d5? Let's talk to our pieces.
Rook from A8 to D8.
You said it straight away. Exactly. It's the best move in the position. And now you are threatening to take on d5.
Because I've added another defender.
Yeah. And he cannot defend it. Well, he can defend it with c4, but anyway.
Like a lot of where I am, a lot of chess is rocket science to me at the moment. But the attackers versus defenders principle, it really doesn't change. You've got to add another defender. You add another attacker.
Yeah.
You've done the rook.
Oh yeah, those the chess principles for beginners also do apply to Magnus Carlsen. He also has to look for attackers versus defenders. The only thing is he sees it in less than a split second, and you and I have to count. But all those principles apply to everybody. Yeah. They will never go away, no matter how strong you become. Okay, so that's a pity. Queen takes d5 drops a piece because queen takes, knight takes, rook takes. The good news is you're still a rook up. Actually, you dropped a piece, but you were rook up. So in a way, it's okay. The queens are off the board. and you're still a rook up, so nothing terrible has happened. You're still totally winning. You played c6. Yeah, and again, rook d8 is such an automatic move here.
Yeah.
Don't know which rook, probably rook a8 to d8.
Just swap.
Just swap, and if he doesn't want to swap, then he has to take his rook to a less active square, and you have improved your rook. So, yeah, play with all those pieces. That's still something that that you need to, that's probably another 50 points in rating that you will gain if you consistently tell yourself to play with all your pieces. You're already a lot better at it than a year ago, or even 6 months ago. But that's another 50 rating points just to be picked up by making sure all your pieces are happy.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, c6. But yeah, and now we see why. He suddenly gets a really active rook, and it's a bit annoying, that rook there, because you don't want to give up on the b pawn, so you play rook a b8, and you could have avoided all that by having activated that rook a few moves ago. You make your life easier, He solved the problem for you because he went back straight away with his rook from an active position back to his own rank. So
yeah,
again, rook b to d8 is screaming to be played. You played a5 instead. A3, h5. Yeah, so it looks like you're not completely sure how to continue, just pushing some pawns on the side. And make sure you talk to your pieces. They will tell you what they want. And then you would have, if you, at this moment you would said, talk to my pieces, then you would have found rook d8 in a second.
Yeah.
g5, f6, take,
No.
bishop c4 check, king h7, the rook is activated again. Pass pawns must be pushed.
Yeah.
King d1, b5. Yeah, you're still totally winning because you're rook up. So there is no problem. Rook f3, you're going to hunt some pawns. Check. Go behind the pawn to win it. It's all still winning. You give away your beautiful pass pawn, you get another beautiful pass pawn in return. You would have taken it away, but you like to give checks. So in this case, it's okay because you take with check. Taking with check is always good. King c5, and now you have this beautiful pass h pawn. Totally winning. You are still rook g4, making room for the h pawn.
Yeah.
Bishop d1, attacking your rook, and a nice way to solve that is by playing the rook away with a check.
Yeah.
King takes. Not a problem that you lose those pawns because you have that h pawn.
I've just noticed if we move my bishop to e8.
You played it.
Oh.
And another pin. In this case, it's a little bit more tricky because he can counter-attack your rook. So you don't win a rook, it's a swap. But of course, being a rook up, you don't mind the swap. So here, you just take on d7. He takes your rook. You've got the rooks off the board. You're still a full rook up. And this guy is going to touch down in the corner.
Did we do that swap?
No, you didn't. You saved your rook a8.
Oh.
So again, trade down when your material ahead is also a theme of this video.
Yeah.
You have a little threat of rook a7, suddenly winning the rook after all. But he played bishop c2 check, king h8, and he saves his rook. So he's still totally winning, but you could have got the rooks off the board. Pass pawns must be pushed.
It doesn't feel like I'm winning, Rick.
Say again?
Doesn't feel like I'm winning.
Why not?
Just doesn't seem like much is happening. I'm having my chances. I'm losing them. I've got a chance to trade down. I'm not taking it.
Yeah.
Bit wishy-washy, isn't it, really? I could have finished it now.
Yeah, you could have finished. That's it. You haven't given some of your advantage away, but you're still totally winning. And why? Because you're just a full rook up, a rook and a pawn, and you have the h4 pawn steaming down the board. Yeah. So you're still totally, but it's a bit uncoordinated there. We talked about in the previous game about black's pieces being uncoordinated. Now your pieces are a little bit uncoordinated, so you would probably like to play something like that, get that guy back into the game behind the pawn, something like that
You know, somebody came to the chessboard and I said, oh, they'd have a look. So okay, pass pawn, upper rook. Yeah, blackies are doing too bad actually.
Yeah, you just need a bit of coordination. So that red arrow, I think it looks very nice. It would put a rook behind the pawn. Also important that both rooks would then be on dark squares, while he has a light squared bishop. You know, again, make your life easy. Put your pieces on squares where he cannot easily attack them. Yeah, you have to be, when you're doing that, you have to be a bit careful for things like this, because then suddenly your bishop is pinned and you might have to, you know, defend it again. So it's not that easy. But you probably in a position like this, if you see this for the first time, you say, yeah, my pieces are not really coordinated. I need to find a way to coordinate them, get them more together. Probably all with the idea of pushing that pawn down the board. So if your pieces can support that pawn, then you probably will have an easy win.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm looking at it, my arrow to go there is a little bit of a problem if he comes in with the pin. So that maybe this rook needs to stay on the back rank for a while to help to make sure your king doesn't get in trouble. But anyway, you're just a full rook up. It cannot be. It can never be bad. Bishop e4, and you gave a check because you like giving checks. King d6, and now it's just this rook is hanging. This rook is hanging. You're making life difficult for yourself.
If you wanted to watch a game where someone's up, they want to give it away. This is the game.
So, dear viewers, if you want to look at a game where somebody shoots
if you
himself,
if you want to learn how not to play chess,
no, you're being too harsh on yourself. Because even here you're totally winning. Look at this move that I just spotted. Rook d8. Talking about skewers. Yes, he can take your rook, but you take his rook, and you get a pair of rooks off the board. Yeah, so even here it's totally winning still. But yeah, you go on the path of self-destruction. Rook g5, giving up on the rook in the corner. And now suddenly you only a pawn up. Let's keep going. Bishop h5, attacking his rook. Rook h1.
Wow.
Well, now it's about even, because you only pawn up. And of course, we shouldn't forget about the clock. I didn't check the clock times, but I'm pretty sure this move 51, you were low on time here. So it's very easy for us to criticize Black's moves, but the clock was ticking as well, you know?
Yeah.
So let's not be too harsh on the Black player here. Another pawn goes. You have a nice pin, but he can easily solve that.
Oh, yeah.
Check. Rook f5 again. b4.
It's not looking good.
Oh, you have a lovely combination now. Not easy, but it's a lovely combination which would have won you the game after all.
Give me a clue. Don't tell him. I want to see what to do.
I'll give you the first move, and then you can figure out, because I want to take your bishop, just like that. And it looks like I'm gone crazy, but it's actually a great move.
Okay, so we have to move the king away.
We have to play the king because we're in check. But I just gave my rook away, right?
Oh, I know what's coming, Rick. Do you know what? This is no joke. Can we go back a few moves? I want to tell you a secret now.
Yeah.
Can we go back? Can we go back a few moves?
Where to where?
Keep going.
Okay. Tell me to stop.
Okay, go forward. Go forward to right. So here I thought, I didn't mention it. This is the God's honest truth. If I can get my bishop from h5 to f3, and if the bishop wasn't there on d5, that's a fork or a double attack.
Well, there you go. You saw it.
So when we move here, right, so we keep going now. Let's go to present day. Right? Let me think. So what I can do is, oh yeah, you sacrifice, well, not sacrifice, but you take a piece that's higher back.
It's a sacrifice. It's a temporary sacrifice, very temporary.
Yeah, he takes back.
He has to, otherwise he just lost a piece, right? He just lost the bishop for nothing, so he has to take, I guess.
And then 3 bishop.
Lovely. Isn't it beautiful?
Rick, how do you see? Like, I would never think about taking with a high value piece a lower value piece. I just don't imagine it.
No, but this is quite an advanced tactic. You know, this is probably this tactic here, rook takes d5, is a tactic for 1,400 players, you know, or 1,300 players, not for 800 players. But having said that, you saw the motif. You saw, hey, bishop f3 would be a great move if I could have a bishop fork that way. So you saw it. And here you didn't see it, but this is a tactic for 1,400 players. So don't beat yourself up that you missed it. But it's nice, isn't it? Yeah, it's lovely, and it's forced because he has to take, otherwise he just lost the bishop. And then, but yeah, this way finishes the game. Okay, he took on b4. He takes. The tactic is now still there, of course. Rook takes d5 is still a move that wins. You play rook f7. Ouch! Ouch. Let's quickly play past. You probably were very low on time, so let's just go to the end of the game. It's a tragedy because you played so well.
I was low on common sense as well.
Okay, fair enough. I don't think there's any more miracles here to. No, it's all gone.
What a shame. What a bloody shame. Oh, look at that. A queen.
Yeah, but fine. But again, I have every chess player has gone through this. You've played so well and you completely outplay your opponent, and then that's the worst defeat from a totally winning position, and then everything falls apart. But you took it in good spirits. Yeah, that was a very interesting game and a very good game to analyze. And anything else on this game before we leave this game?
No, Rick, thanks for that.